Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Today I want to talk about things I would do differently if I were to start a business in 2026 or if I would have to rebuild a business from scratch in 2026 with the use of AI and automations. So the other day I was scrolling through the local business Facebook group and the posts were all the same. Looking for someone to build me a beautiful website. Need help setting up my Facebook ads properly. And I get it. 5 years ago, that was the playbook. But I'm reading this in 2026 and I'm thinking these people are about to lose money. Because here's the reality. If you're still thinking, do I need AI? That question expired. The game didn't just change. The entire playing field moved. And the business is still running on 2020 logic. And they are wondering why nothing works anymore. So I sat down and mapped exactly what I would do differently if I was starting a business today or rebuilding one that's stuck. 13 shifts, old ways versus the way that actually works in 2026. So let's get into it. So number one, start with the expensive problem. So stop starting with the product idea and start with expensive problem. Most people start with, I'm good at X, so I will sell X. And that's backwards. The market doesn't care what you are good at. The market cares about problems that cost them money, sleep, sanity. So your job is to find the problem that is expensive enough that people will pay real money to make it go away. Not a minor inconvenience, an expensive problem. So how do you find it? You talk to people, not surveys, actual conversations. What is the most frustrating part of your business right now? What have you tried so far? How much is it costing you? And when someone describes a problem with emotions, with specifics, with a number attached to it, that's where the opportunity is. The product comes after, and the problem comes first. So number two, stop researching your competitors. Start researching your non-competitors. Here's what most people do. They Google their direct competitors. They stalk their websites, their pricing, and their ads. And then they try to be slightly better version of the same thing. And where does it get them? It gets them a ticket to the red ocean, the bloody water. Hundreds of businesses fighting over the same customers with the same messaging, saying the same thing. Margins getting crushed, differentiations disappears, and everyone sounds identical. So here's the shift. Instead of looking at who sells what you sell, look at who sells something different to the buyer you want. Let's say you are a mortgage broker. So your direct competitors are other mortgage brokers, saturated and brutal. But who else is talking to people about buying a home? Real estate agents, home inspectors, moving companies, financial advisors. These businesses have already figured out where your ideal buyer hangs out and what language resonates with them, what objections come up, and what content they engage with. That's intel you can't get from watching your competitors. That's your blue ocean, unsaturated attention, untapped partnerships, angles nobody in your industry is using because they are too busy copying each other. So the next one, number 3, stop defining demographics, start mapping behavior. I see this all the time in business plans. My target market is a woman 35 to 50 with household income about 100K plus. Cool. So is everyone else's. So demographics tells you almost nothing about how to actually reach someone. Here's what matters. Where does your buyer spend their attention? Not social media, but which specific platforms, which groups, which creators do they follow, which podcasts do they listen to while they're commuting? What have they already tried and didn't work? This is the gold. If someone failed with DIY solution or got burned by a cheap provider or tried 3 competitors before finding you, that's your messaging. You speak directly to that failed attempt. And what words do they use to describe their problem? Not your industry jargon, their words. The phrases they type into Google at 11 p.m. when they are frustrated. This is how you write a copy that stops the scroll. This is how you build an audience that actually convert. So behavior over demographics. Always. So the next one, number 4. So stop building, then selling. Validate demand before you build anything. This is where so many people waste months of their life. They have an idea, they disappear into a cave, they build the perfect website, the perfect offer, the perfect everything. They emerge 6 months later, launch it to the world, and nothing. Nobody buys. Here's the shift. You have to sell it before it exists. And I'm serious. Build a landing page, a wait list, a buy button with a special price that takes payment before you have built the thing. Have 10 real conversations with potential buyers. No friends who will be polite, actual strangers in your target market. Here's what I'm thinking of offering. Here's the price. Would you buy this? If nobody bites, you just saved yourself months of building the wrong thing. If people do bite, now you build with confidence and cash in your hand. Validation isn't optional. It's how you avoid building a beautiful product that nobody wants. So the next one, number 5. Stop creating an offer suite. Design one clear transformation or one clear product or offer. When people start out, they think more options means more sales. I will offer a small package, a medium package, a premium package, an add-on, a VIP tier. And you know what that creates? Confusion for you and the buyer. Here's the truth. Nobody buys a package. Nobody gets excited about 12 sessions. They buy a transformation, a before and after. I was overwhelmed and invisible. Now I'm booked out and in control. That's why they're buying. So start with one offer, one clear transformation, one price. Make it so obvious that the right buyer sees it and thinks, this is exactly what I need. You can add complexity later, but in the beginning, clarity beats optionality every single time. Number 6. Stop pricing based on your time. Price based on the cost of the problem. Hourly rates will cap your income forever. Matching competitor pricing makes you a commodity. Both are raised to the bottom. Here's the question that changes everything. What is the problem costing them? Now, what's your time? Not what's your time worth. What's their problem worth? If a business owner is losing 10 hours per week to manual follow-ups, that's not a $500 problem. When you factor in their time, their missed opportunities, the leads that one called, the stress that bleeding into their personal life, that's a $50,000 per year problem. If you can solve a $50,000 problem, you can charge $5,000 or $10,000 and they will thank you for it. Price relative to the problem, not your hours. When you solve expensive problems, you can charge accordingly. When you charge by the hour, you are penalized for being faster and good at your job. So you have to flip the model. Number 7. Know your runway and a break even before you launch. Let's go back. So this isn't the sexy part of the business, but it's the part that determines whether you survive long enough to succeed. Most businesses don't die from bad marketing. They die from running out of cash. So before you launch, you need to answer 2 questions. How long can I operate before this business needs to pay for itself? That's your runway. Be honest. If it's 3 months, that changes your strategy. If it's 12 months, different strategy. And what's my break even? How many clients at what price do I need to cover my costs? Once you know these numbers, every decision becomes clearer. Should I invest in that tool? Depends on my runaway. Should I hire? Depends on my break even. So businesses built on hope fail. Businesses that survive today, they are built on math, clear math and thinking. The next one, number 8. Stop obsessing over the website. Build the back end first. This is where everyone get it backwards. They spend weeks picking colors, fonts, hero images. And look, I get it. The website is like a beautiful door to your house, to your business, right? It has to be nice and appealing. But at the end of the day, it's just a door. And that door that people walk through, they walk into your business. The real question is, what happens after they walk through the door? The journey from I'm interested to I'm booked to I showed up, I paid, I received my service, I'm satisfied with my service, and I referred 3 people to the business. That sequence is your actual business. That's where the money is. That's where leads stop leaking. That's where automation lives. Design the journey before you pick a single font for your website. Map every step, then build that beautiful door that leads to it. So next one, number 9, the automation audit. So stop handling leads manually. Map every step before the first lead arrives. Most business owners wait until they are overwhelmed to think about the systems. Leads are coming in, things slip through the cracks, follow-ups don't happen, and suddenly they are working until midnight trying to keep their head above the water. Reactive mode. Here's the shift. Before you get a single lead, you should know exactly what happens to every lead that you get. And for every step in that journey, you ask one question. Can this be fully automated? Is that AI assisted or human only task? Fully automated means it runs without you. Appointment reminders, payment processing, onboarding emails, so no human needed. AI assisted means the system handles 80%, so drafts the response, scores the lead, routes the request, and human reviews and or approves. Human only means it requires real judgment, a sales conversation, a complex decision, a personal touch. When you map this out in advance, you know your real capacity. You know where the bottlenecks will be. You build the system before you drowning in it. Number 10. So stop launching and hoping. Build feedback loops from day 1. Here's how most people operate. They launch something, they watch the sales numbers. If the sales are good, it's great. If sales are bad, they guess what's wrong and try random fixes. That's not a system, that's gambling. Feedback loop means you're systematically collecting data at every stage and using it to make decisions. Where are people dropping off in your funnel? Which messages get replies? Which get ignored? Which clients turn into referrals? Which one disappear? What is the actual conversion rate at each step? For example, your booking, your show, your close ratio. You don't need a fancy tool for this. A spreadsheet works, but you need to decide in advance. So what am I measuring? How often am I reviewing it? And what will I change based on what I learn? So build the feedback loop before you need it. So number 11. So stop trying to be everywhere. Master one channel first. So usually what happens, new business owners, no systems, posting on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, sending emails, starting a podcast, and thinking about a newsletter. They stretch thin, they burn out, and they're getting mediocre results everywhere and great results nowhere. Omnichannel presence with no system behind it equals 60-hour weeks with nothing to show for it. So pick one channel, the one where your buyer already pays attention. If your buyers are on LinkedIn, master LinkedIn. If they're in Facebook groups, go deeper there. If they respond to email, build that list first. Build your system on that channel. Create content, automate the repetitive parts, scheduling, repurposing, initial outreach, follow-ups. Get it working and get it profitable. Then consider channel 2. So depth beats width every single time. Okay, moving on. Number 12. So stop treating automation as an add-on. Build it as a foundation. This is the mindset shift that separates 2026 businesses from everything that came before. Most people think about automation like an add-on that is nice to have. So once we're established, once we have more revenue, once we have more time, we'll implement some tools. That's backwards. By the time you have time, you're so deep in manual processes that reaping them out feels impossible. Here's the shift. Every system you design from day one should answer the question, where does automation remove me as a bottleneck? Not where can I add a tool later? Where does automation need to exist for this business to run without me being a constraint? Lead capture, lead nurturing, appointment scheduling, payment collection, onboarding, fulfillment, tracking, follow-up sequence, review request. Because if you're manually doing any of these, you are the bottleneck. And your business can only grow as fast as you can work. Automation isn't about replacing humans. It's about freeing humans to do human work. The creative stuff, the relationship stuff, the strategic stuff. But that only happens if you design for it from the start. And the last one, AI native offers. So stop limiting your offer to what you can deliver manually. Design AI native offers that were not possible before. Here's what's wild about starting a business in 2026. If you're building from scratch right now, you have an advantage that established businesses don't. No legacy systems. No, this is how we always done it. No team expecting things to stay the same way. You get to build with AI baked in from day one. And that changes what's possible. Services that required a team of 5 in 2020, deliverable solo was the right system today. Personalization and scale, fully automated. Deep research and analysis, hours instead of days. So don't ask, how do I use AI to do what existing businesses do? Ask, what used to require a full team, what I can do now, deliver solo. That is the real unlock. So you're not competing on their terms. You're building something that they can't easily copy because they are trapped in their old infrastructure. So starting from scratch in 2026 isn't a disadvantage. It's a superpower. And we'll go deeper on this in the future video, actually. So just to sum up, let's bring it all together. 13 shifts, beautiful website, won't save a confused offer. Perfectly optimized ad won't convert if your back end leaks leads. Being on every platform means nothing if you've got no system behind it. And hoping the numbers work out is not a financial strategy. The businesses that make it in 2026 aren't the ones with the fanciest tools or the biggest budget. They're the ones who did this thinking first, who understood that technology amplifies whatever you already have. If you have clarity, tech amplifies clarity. If you have chaos, tech amplifies chaos. So it's your choice which one you build on. So if this video shifted your thinking about your business and how you do things, please subscribe. We drop videos like this a few times per week about frameworks, about builds, and real unscripted discussions about AI and automations. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.